there are services that people need to live.
How do you see across states and territories? Is there any state-based or territory-based supports for people who are living with dementia through the health department or some state-based departments, or is it just primarily the NDIS or HFIL? That's the two streams you access.
So I think the first thing we need to say is that Dementia Australia provides a wide range of services for people of all ages living with dementia. So we run our National Dementia Helpline, which is available every day of the year, and it's available 24 hours a day. And then on top of that, we have a whole range of education and support and counselling programs that we make available to people who are impacted by dementia. And you don't need to be registered for My Aged Care or NDIS to access those services. So you can just call Dementia Australia directly on 1800 100 500 and be connected to the sort of information 100 500 at any time of the day, any day of the year, and get answers to your questions and connected to supports and services you need. And there are other agencies who are working in the space as well who provide supports and services, and depending on where you are across the country, they vary. So it's important to make sure that we're keeping those supports and services that are available outside of NDIS and My Aged Care front of mind. But then there are services that people need to live independently and maximise their quality of life. And many of those come through My Aged Care and NDIS.
Can you share a very generic case study of a person living with dementia and what kind of a life they would have? But more of a generic, they can't pinpoint. I can understand it's a spectrum of services one would need, but what's a general person living with dementia would need and require on a regular basis?
I can't. And the reason I can't is because there are so many different forms of dementia. It really depends how old people are. So, someone who develops dementia in their early 50s with children who are still at school and who is in the sort of peak of their career, what they need is very different from someone who might be 75, who has finished their career, who is, maybe independently wealthy compared to someone who has, frontotemporal dementia or primary progressive aphasia. So the thing we would say regularly is that, everyone experiences dementia differently. And that's really important because it means that when we're thinking about the care and support that people need when they get a dementia diagnosis, you really need to understand that person's individual condition and their life and be making sure that you are supporting them to maximise their independence and quality of life.